Buongiorno everyone, happy Friday, match day tomorrow, we're going to dig into all that, Leicester preview coming up, what's Eddie Howe being seen in his press conference today, but before we get into all that, let's talk about Anthony Gordon's interview, an honest, open, brilliant interview with Keith Downey from Sky Sports that was aired on Sky Sports News yesterday evening, and it's brilliant. I love every single bit of it, so we're going to talk through it. Let me know in the comments below what you make of Anthony's words, what you're thinking ahead of the Leicester game, and let's dive straight in. Actually, hats are back. Loads of messages about the hats, right? This is the final restock on the Magpie Channel hats before Christmas, so if we get them in now, they'll arrive in time for Santa delivering them. Alright, so the black ones, white ones, back on sale, magpiechannel.com. Do your thing, get involved. Cheers to everyone who has bought one already, really appreciate it. Anthony Gordon admitted that the talk about his future has affected his performances for Newcastle this season. So a lot of the talk, especially early on the season, was, oh, what's happened to Anthony Gordon? Head's gone, head's down like this, not in the game. What's going on? After the talk of, the move being so close to his boyhood club Liverpool in the summer during the Euros, it looked like he had been affected by his game. We can see, like the rest of the team, to be honest, inconsistencies in Gordon's play, and it's good of him, mature of him, to admit that. This is what I like about Gordon. He says it how it is. And these are some of the best lines for me here. I've heard so much talk this year about my future, where I'm going, where I want to go, without anyone actually asking us. But I just want to be left to play football. I just want to be happy. I love it here. I've said it plenty of times. And I think the speculation, people assume that it's all correct when you've never heard from me once that I'm unhappy here. I love everyone here. I love playing football here. And that's all that was. The celebration, the blah, blah, blah I did against Liverpool. It's frustrated me, yes. It's taken me away from enjoying my football this year, and I think that's where the inconsistency have come from. So he said it himself, I don't need to say it for him. I have been caught up in that a little bit, but I just want to play football, especially for Newcastle. And this is the best bit for me. He says, we're only human, I'm only 23. All I've heard is, when is he leaving? But when have I said I ever want to leave? I don't want to leave. I'm very, very happy here. And I think Alex and Bruno think the same. So it's funny, isn't it? That's obviously a look towards the dressing room, where it's clear as day these players talk about what's happening. Of course they do. They're on the phones just like we are. They're on YouTube, they're on Instagram, they're on everything. And they're seeing the names being linked away, and they're seeing the rumours, they're asked about them. And they're obviously in the dressing room having a bit of crack, aren't they, and saying that. And it's funny that he's dropped their names, isn't it? Because the three players that are always bound to leave Newcastle, are always set to leave according to the media, is your Isaacs, your Brunos, and your Anthony Gordons, because they're the best players. So they're too good for Newcastle, and they're going to need to go to a bigger club, is what a lot of the media will have you believe. And this was Anthony Gordon speaking at Newcastle United's Disabled Supporters Association Christmas party. So he surprised everyone there, and he was there for a couple of hours, is what Keith says, meeting every fan, signing autographs, taking photos. That again speaks volumes of Gordon's character. I've met him before myself, great bloke. And like he said, it's funny, you forget that he's only 23 now. He's switched on mentally, he's on the ball there, and he's just a really good bloke, a caring bloke, an honest bloke, and taking his time out of his day to go do that is fantastic, as well as giving a great, honest, mature interview like that one. So I thought it was really good for Gordon to come out and squash the speculation on his future, even after signing a new contract in the last few weeks. He's still linked away, and even when he was playing Liverpool, there was reports going out there, and they were saying he's going to join Liverpool still, and all of that. Well, he came out today, loves Newcastle, and Newcastle loves you, Gordy lad. So it's great to have him on board. What a talent we've got on our hands. And hopefully, now we can put that to bed, and he, alongside his teammates, can find some consistency starting tomorrow at 3 o'clock against Leicester. That would go down a treat. And what is a huge week coming up for Newcastle, which we discussed on the podcast the other day. Now, what a few days. What a couple of matches we'll have. Yeah, Leicester at home tomorrow. Brentford at home in the quarterfinal Wednesday night. It is massive. Not just for the club, but obviously for Eddie Howe. And the pressure that's on him, he was asked about that over and over again in the press conference today, and he basically came out and just said, I always feel pressure, I'm always going to feel pressure at this club. And there wasn't much else going on in that press conference apart from some damning team news to add to the mix of the Callum Wilson news, which Howe was asked about, and he comes out with all the generic stuff about how it's a shame Wilson's worked really hard. He did reveal Wilson has spent money out of his own back pocket to see specialists and try and get sorted. So, again, it's nothing on Wilson where, we'll take the mick and we might call him a poppadom and that, but it's just a bit of crack, you know what I mean? Like, it's not on Wilson. No one's doubting that he, like I said in the video yesterday, and no one's doubting that he doesn't want to be playing, that he purposely gets injured. Of course he doesn't, but it's more so on the club for me. than on Wilson. If teams were in for him that were led to believe last year, like your West Hams, like your Saudi teams and Atletico Madrid, then it's down to us not selling him and not moving him on. That's valuable lessons that have to be learned heading into this January, which Howe said in the day's presser that it's going to be tough and we're unlikely to do a lot of business unless we sell players. But Howe also came out and said that Nick Pope was getting tested today and he still might play tomorrow. Turns out he's out for a month. I told you this last night, Nick Pope was going to be out for a few weeks on our socials. It's been confirmed today now. Nick Pope is sidelined, ruled out for at least a good few weeks. 4 to 8 weeks apparently for Nick Pope. So a long time out for Popey Pope, our number one. It just carries on, doesn't it? Number 9 and number 1 out the game. But to be honest with you, Pope hasn't been great lately, has he? He's been disappointing for me. He's been winding me up with some of his decision making. I mean, look at the goal. That should have been the 5th one for Brentford. They didn't score it, Burn cleared off the line, but moments like that where you're thinking, what the hell are you doing? So he hasn't been in the richest vein of form. However, I don't really trust the backups in Dubravka. I would give it to Vladidomos, to be honest. I would give it to Odysseas Vladidomos. It's his time to shine. Big John Ruddy. Where's Ruddy at? Let's have a Ruddy party. But all seriousness, we're now it's going to be Dubravka. And Dubravka was crap last year when he came in for Pope. Another one who should have been moved on. How is Martin Dubravka still here, man? Do you know what I mean? He's a great bloke. Interviewed him on the channel a few times. Been out with him and everything. He's sound, but yeah, his time's gone now. Time's gone. That's why I'm not holding these sentiments. That's why I'll say it how it is. It's football ability. And just like Wilson, Dubravka is finished. So I'm not looking forward to seeing him come in. He may come in tomorrow, prove me wrong. Really hope he does. Has a great game. But I tell you what, he's not going to do it week in, week out for the next month or two when Pope's injured, is he? So that's a worry. And when Dubravka went on loan to Man U, we should have made that permanent to someone else. Since Man U didn't want him. They realised how crap he was, ditched him back to us straight away. We still couldn't get rid of him. Bizarre. But we've got loads of goalkeepers, I suppose. So if we're going to get injury, might as well beat a Pope. It's better than bloody Gordon or Isak, then we'll be definitely knackered. Anyways, Pope's been ruled out for a month. On some better news is that Sven Botman's training well, but he's still not going to be back until late December, early January. Joe Willock seems to be fine. He hasn't really trained much, but he could be in the squad tomorrow, as well as Lewis Miley. I'm buzzing to see Miley back now. I think that's a big plus, Miley coming back. So, Miley is ready and raring to go. Eddie Howe's been impressed with his work with the under-21s and on the training pitch. So hopefully Miley is back in the team tomorrow. I think he can really help us going forward and split some defences with them through balls he's got on him. So he offers a lot of the team. I'm looking forward to seeing him back in the action. Speaking of Geordie midfielders, it looks like Sean Longstaff is up for sale next month. That's according to Craig Hope, Daily Mail, who's banging out all the exclusives. And clubs have been made aware of Longstaff's availability in the transfer market next month. So he's up for sale. It's PSR nightmare again. It's ridiculous. We're not going to play our trade. And for some reason, PSR, the ridiculous rules, means it works out better if you sell homegrown players. Hence what we did with Elliot Anderson in the summer. Looks like we could be doing the same now with Sean Longstaff, who has been at the club for many, many years now. And we know that, Tonali's here now. Is his game time going to be limited once he gets into the run of things? You would have thought so. Miley coming back. So, yeah, Longstaff's one of them ones where they've looked at it, a player that's semi-involved in the starting lineups, and thought, yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll sell him. They've activated his 1-year extension. That means they can still get some value out of him. If someone comes in January, they will be likely to accept the bid, and Longstaff will be bidding farewell to the tune. Listen, it will be sad to see him going away. Do you know what I mean? He's been a great servant. He's had some quality moments. Listen, scoring against PSG. He has chipped in with some big goals, big moments. Carabao Cup semi-finals, and he always graft. He always gives 100% for the black and white, as any local lad would do. But yeah, I'm up for this. I'm up for selling Longstaff. I think when you've got Tonali there, you've got Miley there, it makes sense. It's a position where we have got a bit of depth. Joe Willock, if ever wants to stay fit as well. So there's bodies there in midfield. So selling Longstaff, I'm all right with it. As long as you get okay money for him. And apparently, Everton that are interested in him, that have been interested in him in the past. They tried to sign him a couple of January windows ago. I remember a winter window where they tried to take him to Goodison Park. Was it even Rafa? Quite a few years ago now. So I'm sure enough, listen, Longstaff will definitely do a job for quite a few Premier League teams. So we'll see what happens in January there. He might have to move so Newcastle can bring players in, which how lent towards yet again in this press conference this morning. But it's Leicester City tomorrow, and it's Ruud van Nistelrooy in charge of the Foxes. The ex-Man United striker who said a nice thing about coming back to St James Park. He's going to have a smile coming down the tunnel, thinking about Sybil Robson, who he obviously played under in Holland at PSV Eindhoven. So let's just have a quick look at the Leicester stats and stuff before I give my score prediction. And I think Leicester have got a few injuries as well, if I'm aware. But before we get into that, let's talk about how Joelinton, Shaw and Tonali are only one booking away from serving 1 game bans. That's 1 game bans, not the end of the world, I suppose. On to the Leicester team news, and then Samari is suspended while Harry Winks and Ndidi are both doubtful. Now, under Van Nistelrooy, Leicester are having a bit of a resurgence, bit of a new manager bounce last weekend. Very good comeback at home to Brighton, where they scored a couple of goals in stoppage time, and they had a 3-0 win in Van Nistelrooy's first game in charge against West Ham at home. A lot better than we did against West Ham at home. So I don't know about this one, you know. I really don't. I mean, Leicester are a poor side. They are a championship side in terms of when you look at the team sheet. They don't have enough quality on the pitch to be in the Premier League, but they might if Van Nistelrooy can kick on the way he started and they can get a run going, because there's other poor teams at the bottom as well, as we've seen this year, you know. So with Leicester, it's a funny one. Listen, if this was Steve Cooper still, I think we'd smash them. But the pressure's on us. This is a must-win game. We have to move up from our mid-table mediocrity at the minute, you know, floating 13th, 14th. If results go against us, it's going to look very ugly, that table, and those European spots are going to start slipping away even more. So a big 3 points tomorrow could see us move up nicely with how tight the table is, depending on the results. So we have to do our job. We have to beat these at home. Leicester at home, come on. You can't struggle against these to get 3 points. You just can't. But saying that, a couple of years ago, we drew 0-0 in the last time we played them in the Premier League. Then we won 2-0. Joelinton Bain, that was in the League Cup though. 2-1 before that. Remember Bruno's late goal. But enough of the past. I'm going to say we'll get the job done. I'm going to back us to get a 3-1 win tomorrow. The Mags are the Foxes, but I think it could be sticky as well. At the same time, I'm hoping that we can go out there and just smash them, get a confidence booster, a couple of goals. But then I'm thinking, you know, it is Jamie Vardy, and you've got to respect Jamie Vardy. You know, it's his 50th next week, and he's still banging them in. Red Bulls are out of the shop, and he's still a really good player. So fair play to him. That credit where it's due. We should have him at the 2, and I'd take him as a third choice striker, to be honest. Second choice at the minute, because Wilson's never fit. But they've got the odd dangerous player because of the new manager. It could be difficult, but I think in the end, our quality's got to show. We need Gordon and he's at that to perform. Now, this is a 3 o'clock game. It's not on TV. Still got to turn up for it. Yeah? Come on, lads. Let's turn up. Let's turn this around. This could be a really big positive week for Newcastle, and I've really got my fingers crossed for that. A nice 3 points tomorrow and a win in the Cup on Wednesday night. And we could set ourselves up for a bit of a brighter couple of months ahead, hopefully. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Drop your score predictions down there. Stay tuned to the Magpie channel. I'll be bringing you a match day vlog tomorrow / reaction. I may put them both in one tomorrow. So that will hopefully be a belter. We'll wait and see. Thanks again, everyone. Please drop a like on this one, and I'll see you on the next one.